My mum has already written one book. This is the book she wrote years ago, Pillow Slips and Gas Masks, which is a kind of a memoir and a study of Liverpool children who were evacuated during the Blitz in the Second World War. And now, what the world's been waiting for, this. Pools Girls, about girls who worked. Well, go on, tell me, what's a Pools Girl?
Pools Girls, we worked at football pools. Littlewoods, it was for me. But there was others, you know, Vernon's.
And what did you do as a Pools Girl? What was the job?
Well, I first started off as I was only 15, and all my sisters, well, I was waiting to find some kind of a job, and in them days, you know, you used to go to the job centre, the Dole, and they'd direct you, but I didn't want to do that. I had 3 sisters who already worked in the pools, and I thought I'd like to go where they were for comfort, really.
Yeah. So to look after your big sisters.
Yeah.
But we should explain that the pools was this big gambling thing based on football. It was run by the Moores family in a beautiful, dedicated building on Edge Lane. And the Pools Girls' job overall was to check all the entries. There's millions and millions of entries to find the winner. Mm-hmm. So it's this very strange thing that there's like a lot of teenage working class girls looking for the next millionaire.
Yeah, that's right.
So when someone won the pools, what happened? Was it exciting? Did you get to hear, or what?
Well, we used to only hear, you know, through the paper and stuff like that. I mean, in them days, money had such different value. 75,000 was a massive amount of money, and that was the biggest prize at the time.
Right.
Well, I started off really not on the pools. I started off as in the wage clerk's office.
Right.
But it's generally just a little runabout.
Yeah.
And I didn't work in the lovely building in...
Oh, did you not?
No, I worked in... because my sister already worked there, in Earlham Road in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah, I know. Yeah.
And that, I mean, it was a massive building.
Yeah.
It was like an aircraft hangar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, thousands of girls all working in the one place.
And it was more or less all girls, wasn't it? All women.
Was it all women? Except they used to have what they call IB, Investigation Bureau, scattered around, watching for different things that might go wrong. Yeah. And, you know, occasionally they just come up and say, this row, stand up. And they check you back.
Okay.
But that was for stealing.
And for fraud. There must have been so many opportunities for fraud.
Yeah, well, there was in the beginning. But it didn't come from the girls.
Right.
It was for people who worked it out.
So the thing that's amazing about this book is the sort of the cultural life of that workplace.
Yes.
Because so much went on. You've got amazing photographs of huge charabanc outings, which is these convoys that look like something from, and look at this, that's like something from Jacques Tati. So these huge outings, full of life and excitement, these big charabanc outings. So go on, do you want to talk about those a little bit? Some of those things.
Yeah, but later I asked if I could go on the pools because that looked more exciting.
Okay.
You know, I was quite bored in the office because I used to just go to the other departments with letters.
Right.
And I was encouraged to stay in the wage office, but I didn't. And I eventually got trained on the pools.
Right.
Yeah, so
tell us a little bit about things like the choirs and the outings.
Oh, yeah. I mean, each building had its own choir and own entertainment group. And we used to go to they used to visit other buildings to entertain those in a different building.
Wow.
But occasionally, of course, we'd have a big star. You know, I mean, I can remember Donald O'Connell.
Oh my God.
O'Connor.
Yeah, from Singing in the Rain.
Yeah, and people like that. And then I can't quite remember some of the others, but we see, we'd heard about them being on the theatre, and then they come and entertain us.
But aren't I right that some of the choirs were backing choirs for those type of people when they came in all for
well, eventually they were. They used to, I forget the name of that group. Should have looked that up, shouldn't I? But it was a famous TV was starting then, and this had backings, and Littlewoods girls were intermingled with the choirs.
Yeah.
But eventually, they were given the opportunity, if they wanted to leave Littlewoods. I mean, John Moore's kissed them all, the choirs in their own right. He kissed them all out with kind of a uniform. And they used to go and do concerts outside.
Yeah, I mean, what comes across in the book is that the Moores were like a very benign employers. They seem to want to bring out the best in their workers and do all kinds of things. So how do you feel about them?
It was an outstanding firm to work for. Looking at it back now, it looks ridiculous because it seems like another world.
Yeah.
Like they were millionaires and we weren't daft. We knew that they were becoming millionaires, but all that family worked in the pools,
right,
or in jobs that connected with it, and they always got treated similar to us. They had to clock on and clock off like us.
And would you see them?
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah, and you see John and Cecil regular.
Right.
And some of the women, the sisters, objected. Well, I'm not clocking on. Well, okay, you can leave. Because what makes you any different? You're a worker. So they used to just, and then that was another thing that made us feel that they were similar to us.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, I guess like looking at the pictures, the pictures are great. There's fantastic photographs, and they're full of this kind of breezy innocence. Of course, you were all really young, weren't you? You were 15 when you started.
15, yeah.
They are like very young women going off on these big outings and joining choirs, and it's got a kind of Girl Scouts feel to it.
They came with us,
right?
And they made sure that older ones looked after younger ones, and all that. And they come to the fair.
Right.
And go on the fair with you. And
what fair was that? Where did you go?
The
Southport.
No, Blackpool.
Blackpool. Oh, like big licks, like not just your local one.
Well, a lot of people that was my age at that time had never been any further than the Pierhead.
Yeah. So it's amazing.
So that was an amazing thing.
So tell us a little bit about the process of writing the book. Your difficult second book, Because you didn't make it up out of your head. It's not just your memories, is it? You did research.
No, it's real. I mean, you can only print what people tell you.
No, but you did research, and you talk about what you did.
Well, I tried to find out more about the Moors, and strangely enough, there was very, very little information at all in libraries or anything like that. But I did find one person. You see, I wrote this book when it was finishing.
Yes, yeah.
So
you wrote this a while ago, didn't you?
Oh, I wrote it about 15 years ago.
Yeah, when you were, you were only about 80 then, something like that. And it's taken a while to come together.
Yeah, but when I left to have my children, I missed it, and I loved working in Littlewoods.
I was no compensation for checking pools coupons. Thanks for the love.
No, but the camaraderie was amazing, And every week there was somebody getting married or babies born and collections.
More interesting babies than me.
No, I don't remember. Well, they must have sent me presents. But I wasn't there when you were born. I'd left.
Well, I'm sorry to have interrupted the fun. And did you speak to other Pools girls for this?
Yeah,
you did?
I used to meet up with friends, and they'd say, "Oh, Miss Littlewoods," we had a good laugh, didn't we, and all the rest of it. Did you like working with them? One thing led to another, and everyone that I spoke to loved their job, and I
Right.
felt that they were really well paid, and it was a clean job. Because at that point in time, I mean, we were only just getting over the war, and rationing and everything was still on, and you know, so they missed all that, but they were kind of felt special because they had like office work.
Yeah.
And good pay, best pay.
And they were a gang, weren't they? You'd be going to work together like a big gang, you know.
Yeah, and everybody.
You belong to something.
Yeah, and everybody helps each other, you know.
So is it nice getting back into, I mean, I know this is a while ago that you did this, but getting back in touch with people who'd worked there?
It was incredible because some of them were in clubs that were left about 50 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And they were meeting in the Adelphi.
Yeah. It was like a thing that they didn't let go of.
Yeah.
I know, because weirdly, I went to see Debbie Reynolds at the Philharmonic a few years ago, and she said she had sung with Girls from Liverpool before, and it was the Little Woods Choir, and a load of them stood up, and she brought them up on stage with her.
Oh.
So they had gone as a group.
Yeah.
To see, and they'd been Debbie Reynolds, you know, they'd worked with Debbie before. It was amazing.
Yeah, it has a real hold on you somehow.
Yeah, so great little piece of history, fantastic photographs, and it's out, isn't it? You can go to News from Nowhere and buy it. I'm just looking at some of the people that you've mentioned who I'm going to shout out to, because you've got Joan Morrissey's in here.
Yeah.
So I know David.
The girls that I interviewed. I
your sisters have seen it. Oh, their sisters. Yeah. Go on. Sorry. Go on.
I made a questionnaire, and then when people were doing it like gushously, I asked them, did they want to do an interview?
Yeah.
So I did interviews as well, and I picked all the little gems out that.
Yeah.
You know that they.
I mean, I see some names here that are, you know, that your sisters are there. Betty Bellion's on there.
Yeah.
Lots of names from the past. And Joan Morrissey, who is David Morrissey's mum, if David's watching, she's got a mention there. And Molly Sales was a Little Woods girl. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know she was.
No, you didn't want to interview Molly.
No, I think I would have been still in for 2
Yeah. Molly Sale is Alexi Sale's mum, who is, well, she's gone now. She's no longer with us.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but she would.
But she'd rule the roost, wouldn't she?
Yeah, she'd need a volume of her own.
Yeah.
And she'd take that S off the end of the
Little Wood Girl.
Yeah. So we're having a book launch on May the 17th as part of the Wow Fest in Liverpool, aren't we?
Yeah, the Wow Festival. I took this book to.
Yeah, we should explain that's how it's being published, isn't it?
Yeah, that I took that book to the same publishers as the Pill Slips and Gas Masks. But of course, they changed. They wanted me to pay them. And so I said, no way. So I went to the Daily Post and Echo. I went to the Blue Coat Press.
Oh, yeah.
I went to John Moore's, and they all had it. That's the reason it took so long. They all held on to it for a year or 2 years. And
they were gripped, Mum. They were gripped. They were like, I can't believe it.
Yeah, they were gripped for a minute and then they gave it back. But anyway, in the end,
Mike
Morris
from the Wow Fest.
From the Wow.
The brilliant Wow Fest.
They're writing on the wall. That happens every year.
Yeah.
And they get fantastic writers.
They've never had me. Not once.
And Mike said, "I'll get it published for you."
Yeah, and he did a great job. It's a great looking book, and the reproduction of the photographs they are really wonderful photographs. Amazing photographs, actually. So, okay, I think we said enough. I think we should save the rest for the 17th of May.
Right.
For the official book launch, 17th of May. Be there or be elsewhere. Look on the Writing on the Wall website for details of how you can come to the launch. I think it's a public thing.
Yeah, I think so, because a couple of people have already booked.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you've said too much now, so I'm going to tell you off.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm so sorry that my birth interrupted your career at the Pools. Didn't know that till now.